The reason I'm alive today is because of Dr. Caruso.
It took me a lot of years to where I could even talk about him without crying.
It is the story of one small-town Michigan boy who loved football and science. Dan Caruso clearly remembers one day in Dr. Kilburn's sophomore science class.
He pulled me aside and said, "Dan, you're going to stay after class." And of course, scolded me for screwing around in class. And he said, "You're a really bright guy." He goes, "You ever thought about being a doctor?" And that was it. That was the moment.
The one conversation that changed the course of Dan Caruso's life. He spent his next 2 years of high school trailing local surgeons, then went on to college, grad school, and med school in Michigan. He arrived at Maricopa Medical Center in July of '92 for his surgical residency, then did fellowships in California, and returned to Maricopa in the fall of '98. Within 2 months, Dr. Caruso found himself unexpectedly named Director of Trauma, Surgical Intensive Care, and the Burn Center. An experience he says was trial by fire and too much to handle. Then on March 19, 1999, John Shaper arrived at the ER. The Tempe police officer was making an arrest when another man opened fire and shot Shaper through the abdomen.
And I'll never forget, he comes rolling in laughing. He's having a little bit of pain, not much. He's feeling pretty good, and I remember I stopped his complete laughter and good time, including the cops behind me, when I looked at him and I said, "You go in the operating room right now." And then there was dead silence.
Dr. Caruso worried that the bullet had tracked behind Shaper's abdomen and could have hit a major blood vessel to the heart. Things looked fine inside at first.
So I take all his abdominal organs and I flip them outside of the body. You can actually do that. And then there's nothing but blood.
A major vascular injury. His worst fears confirmed, Dr. Caruso tried to call in reinforcements. Not one surgeon was available. It was just him, 2 anesthesiologists, and a few first-year non-surgical residents.
And there was about an hour of time that I threw probably 40 or 50 stitches, a whole bunch of clips, could not get this stopped. I'm not too sure I've ever told anybody this. I wanted to quit. I never wished John to die, but I just wanted it to end because I couldn't stop it.
Finally, he stepped away from the table, paced for 30 seconds, then came back and took it one hole at a time. After almost 4 hours, success. The bleeding stopped. Shaper survived the night and a long recovery.
It renewed my faith in God, that's for sure, because there was a higher power that took my hand and helped me out there. But it renewed my faith in myself in that there was nothing anymore I was ever going to fear as a surgeon.
The one event that changed the course of Dan Caruso's career, that prepared him for countless cases yet to come, like that of Officer Jason Schechterle. A speeding cab slammed into his police car, which burst into flames. Caruso might have let his team handle a middle-of-the-night case.
It was just something about the whole story, something about sort of the panic almost in my resident's voice. So jumped in the car, drove down. So they were scanning him head to toe, and I remember I walked in and I looked, and almost unrecognizable, looked like a mummy. And I turned around and I said, "How did he even get here? I mean, he should be dead. I mean, someone should survive no more than 5 seconds with a burn like this, because it'd just be like instant suffocation."
Schechterle credits firefighters, police, and EMTs for his initial survival.
Once their job ended and I was at the emergency room of the burn center, then it was, I still didn't have a fighting chance. There was no possible way that I was going to survive the burn injuries that I had sustained.
Then his life was in Dr. Caruso's hands.
And he's truly been able to work miracles that not everybody can do. He was born to be who he is.
Dr. Caruso earned a reputation as the cop doc for his life-saving work on Jason, John, and many other officers, like Keith Young, hit by a drunk driver while on duty.
He saved my life. I came into the hospital coding, and I came out alive and in great shape.
Jody Young says Dr. Caruso took time to be a real support to her and the children.
And Amanda was clutching onto a Snoopy, and Dr. Caruso saw that, and that's my favorite character, and oh my goodness. And then I don't know at what point after that, but then he had come out and brought each of the kids a surgical hat that has Snoopy all over it. And actually, to this day, that Snoopy sits on Amanda's bed with the surgical hat still on him.
His patients don't forget him, and the feeling is mutual.
Patients from years and years ago will stop in just to say hello if they're in the neighborhood. And it's amazing that he remembers each and every one of them.
This man clearly has a passion about patient care. I mean, you do not want to be the person who gets between him and his patients, no more than you want to get between a mother bear and her cubs.
Dr. Caruso says he just enjoys helping people, from patients to students. He does more teaching and mentoring these days than clinical work. The Arizona Burn Center is now the second largest in North America, growing from 300 to 900 inpatients per year under Dr. Caruso's direction. His staff says he encourages teamwork and innovation.
Let's go ahead and give it a try, see if it works. And because of Dr. Caruso, this hospital is about 20 years ahead in the ability to mechanically ventilate patients. And the burn patient, if you can't breathe, nothing else matters.
He gives this atmosphere where no one's really more important than anyone else. And as a therapist, that's great because he respects our decisions.
He's actually a great recruiter for our surgery team. Since he's been chair of surgery, he's put together a team that I think is unbeatable in this county and in this state.
But he is the guiding light that a lot of us have stayed here for.
But yet he's the kind of guy who is down to earth, and you can just have a conversation with him about where you went on vacation, or what sports team is doing better than the other. He's just a regular guy. So it's pretty amazing to meet someone who is so accomplished but yet pretty humble about it.
A regular guy who still loves football, his mom's spaghetti, Bob Seeger, dancing, laughing, and having fun.
Whenever you meet him and he gets to know you, you're always never going to have your first name. I know I'm Yak. I've never been called for the last 5 years. I've never been called Zach in my whole family.
And I think I'm Pindi.
Yeah,
and
Pindi.
I'm Rana.
I think I'm Yo sometimes.
Yeah.
We laugh so hard all the time.
He's really good at poker. We play till 2 in the morning a lot.
Yeah.
And Rummy 500, he always wins.
He doesn't lose.
Dr. Caruso points with pride to his expanded family. He considers the two most significant moments in his personal life to be watching his son's birth and running off to Vegas to get married a year ago.
You definitely know when you've finally found the right person. So that's my biggest ambition in life, is to get out of work and go see her.
There's like two things I can always count on. One, whatever time I return home in Phoenix and get off the plane and walk through the security gate, he's always standing there at the end of the gate waiting for me. Doesn't matter what time it is. And then secondly to that same, I always get butterflies when I see him standing there. So I guess I'm really lucky.
Lucky, blessed, thankful. A sentiment shared by hundreds who have been touched by the power of one person.
I hope that Dr. Caruso has a lot of lifetime left in him. He seems very young for somebody receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. We're hoping to hang on to him here for a significantly longer period of time, a couple of decades. It would be great.
And I have heard many doctors say that they never wanted to disappoint Dr. Caruso, and I think that really says a lot. Dan Caruso is a wonderful human being and a wonderful man.